Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. I'm so sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there as far as for your email. I'm going to jump right into it, man. I know you got your 10 o'clock, so I'm going to kind of run through this for you. I typically like to start off with just asking a few quick questions, and then I have some pricing ready to show you as well. Let me get to your file here. So how long have you guys been in this house?
We bought it back in 95. No, sorry, not 95. That's when it was built, 95 or 96. We bought it in 2011.
Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so I guess like what got you started into wanting to replace windows? Obviously there's always typically a reason. Is it just energy efficiency? Do you have some leaks in some areas, or what's your main reason to start?
Yeah, it looks like some of the places, the panes and the windows, and some of them are coming undone specific. Well, that one you're showing there, that one, that was fine, but the one over to the left, the bedroom, well, that one and that one, yeah, that one there. It's got, the window panes, you can sit there and push them in, they move.
I got you.
So,
Okay.
which is not good. And so I'm going to make the building with some silicone, 100% clear silicone, which has helped. But I don't know how many others are like that. I haven't gone through and checked all of them. I just know they're getting old, and I don't even know if there's any argon gas in them, if they deglaze them, or I don't know if they even have any argon in them or not. They may just be double pane glass with nothing in them. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that's probably what it is. For the most part, like with aluminum frame, they typically didn't use argon, back then, and those are probably the original windows as well. I was also going to say I just got so sidetracked by the call. I'm Garrett, by the way, and this is Michael behind me. He's going to be shadowing me today, so nice to meet you. I was just so caught off guard with trying to hurry and get the call going. Okay, yeah.
I've had two people come out and give me quotes already, and one of them that looked at it was from Wind Choice. They looked at it and said, your windows have been deglazed. They've been replaced because of how he can see the inside seam, the way it was done, the way it looks. He said it looks like they popped them out and put them back in.
Yeah, for sure. They probably, like you said, I think you said this a while ago, but they probably replaced the panes at some point along the way, as far as that goes. But okay, that kind of helps me out, gets me started with kind of some of my context clues here. So I guess kind of some other things. Is aesthetics important to you? Typically when I talk to people, they're like, hey, I really want to have black frame windows, or I want white frame windows, or I really don't even care, I just want new windows. Is that something that's important to you?
I don't think it really matters a whole lot. Whatever the cheapest is that we can do.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, no, the more cost effective would be a basic color, which is like a white, a khaki, or like a clay color, which is kind of like almost like a grayish color. The khaki's obviously kind of how it sounds, like khaki pants, kind of like a tan type deal. But that's going to be your more cost effective. I'll get to that here in a second. Okay, so then I guess kind of my final thing that I like to ask before I start kind of getting into some pricing and showing you some windows. So obviously, when people buy windows, it's immediately researching and talking to people and all over the internet. There's so many different things. But is there anything specific that you've seen that you like from other people? Or I guess kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey, I must have this with my windows. Or are you just looking for like the best deal? Like what exactly is your kind of deciding factor for the window replacement?
Look at a lot of information from different people. So from the silver oxide in the glass to people putting the film on it, but they say it's silver oxide and they don't tell you, and it wears off after a few years, to the frames not being insulated, to the glass being tempered or not being tempered. Some people do, some people don't. I guess it depends on the manufacturer. I've heard, okay, if your windows are 18 inches or more off the ground, then they don't have to be tempered. They were looking at that window right there that you're looking at, so that would have to be tempered because it's less than 18 inches off the ground. Another company said, we never heard that. So, I don't know, there's just various things I've heard. I understand the silver oxide stuff, but there's different grades even of that. Some people have a double, some people have a triple, some is a quad. As far as, I guess, the amount of silver oxide they put in the glass window, some people say, hey, you gotta watch
so many different things.
I've heard a jillion different things, and I don't know who's telling the truth, because I mean, I'm not saying anybody's lying, it's just everybody is saying everybody else is not telling you the truth. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, just give me your spill, and I'll listen and evaluate. So
Yeah.
I don't believe right now, and everybody's super expensive. So it's almost like paying for a third of a house when you buy windows.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if it's because the windows have become that much more advanced in how they insulate. It's either, I mean, the ones I've got are aluminum. I know they're not going to insulate well. They're going to conduct heat and cold, that aluminum is. But, I mean, I've got 2,500 square foot almost of space, and my electric and heating bill, of course, I'm gas on heating. But, I mean, during, spring, even in winter, our bill wasn't over probably $250 a month. If you add in the gas, it adds another $75. So I'm not over $300. Hottest part of the summer, I will get over 300, 350. So I feel like they're not doing too bad.
Sure.
From a standpoint. So I don't know that I necessarily need to have really high-end, window. I mean, my wife was like, why does everybody have to sell like double pane glass that opens up with the sashes, and you have to pay such a high, can't they just give us basically a similar window that we've got? I'm like, well, I think it's because the technology's changed, and that's what everybody's pushing for, and so you're gonna get a window that's gonna be, a higher end top window compared to what we got. Not that it's high end, but it's gonna be better insulated, because that's what everybody wants. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
that's where I'm at with it right now.
yeah, no, I mean that honestly, it helps me out because I genuinely just want to sell you what you need and not try to upsell you or anything like that. And that's why I get on these calls, because we have basically 9 different windows that we can offer you, and it goes everything from the low mid-grade level all the way up to high grade level, and there's so many things in between, and so it's like just asking these questions. And I think the thing that stuck out to me the most just then when you were talking that entire time was whenever you and your wife had a conversation that said, why can't somebody just give us something similar to what we need, or something similar to what we have, but maybe just a better version, especially since these windows are 30 years old and your electric bill is still doing pretty well, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know if I want to even sit here and talk to you about triple pane windows and all the different things that these windows could do for you, because I just don't know if it would actually make sense for you. Now, I talk to other people and it does make sense for them, and so it's just like, listening to you talk, kind of understanding what it is that you're trying to go for is the biggest deal. So I think I do have a window. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this also. I mean, we're also looking at, we want to redo our kitchen, we want to redo some bathrooms and flooring stuff that we're working on, and I do a lot of that stuff myself. So I'm actually doing all the flooring and all that stuff. But
awesome.
We were wanting to look at, okay, does it make sense to spend $50,000, $60,000 on windows when we want to really spend 50 or 60 on, remodeling some other things? But we're not going to stay here forever.
Yeah.
Son is 14, we want him to finish high school, and if he decides to go to college in this area, we'll stay for that. But at some point, we're probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dump. I mean, I've seen prices of 70,000 and 80,000.
Yeah.
For windows, depending on what you want. But given the number of windows we got, the style we have, so anyway, I just don't know if to spend that kind of money.
No, I totally understand, man.
We were talking last night. It's like, do we even want to do windows now? I mean, it's like,
yeah.
Now, talk about windows and leave them and go with it.
Yeah, it definitely gives you something to think about, especially when you get a bunch of gurus in there talking to you about all the different stuff, and gets confusing, to be honest. But I guess I'll just say this: I'm not a guru by any means. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you a bunch of stuff that sounds good and make our windows look fancy. I'm gonna just honestly tell you the truth about what it is that we got, and I guess the only thing that I would really quickly say is the tempered glass, because that was a question mark a while ago. It is a requirement to have that if it is below the 18-inch mark. So we did account for that in the bid. So I'm about to show you some numbers here. But that is something that is kind of required. So those areas of the home where it was like lower than 18 inches, that is an actual thing. So I just want to make sure that I tell you that. But I think the window that I want to talk to you on, can you bring that one over here? We're going to do the elevator, yes sir. The window I want to talk to you on is a single hung window. And basically, it's going to be just like your current windows are. So basically, and I'll let you kind of do this, Michael. So basically, it's a single hung. Bottom portion of the window will go up, and you're in the camera just here. And then fold in to make it easier for you to clean. So it folds into the inside. It comes with a low E glass. The top section is stationary, so it doesn't fold in at the top. Reason why I kind of like this a little bit better is simply because, like you said a while ago, your wife is like, hey, why does everybody want to sell us these fancy windows? Well, also with those fancy windows, they typically have a little bit more air infiltration, which basically is just like the air actually coming through the home. And with that being said, because it has that top section, it's just more ways for that to come in. But with the top portion being stationary, you don't really have that accessibility, if that makes sense. So just having this bottom fold in and operate is kind of a little bit better for energy efficiency side, especially as you're looking at the air infiltration. Just again, because there's less ways for this window to open, kind of so on and so forth. It'll come with a low E glass, so it will have the low E argon in between the panes, very similar to everything you've heard. It will meet the Energy Star requirements for your area down in Lufkin. So we'll basically have that. They'll come standard with the screen as well. And then these are vinyl windows, so these are a double pane vinyl. The warranty on it, I know you said you weren't looking at staying here for a while, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, but regardless, basically all the aspects are going to be covered kind of differently. But the frames of the window, so those are vinyl, those are going to be directly covered for a lifetime. And then that basically means if they start warping, cracking, peeling, fading, anything like that, it's directly covered. And then the other two components are the parts and the seals. So the seals are like, kind of like on your current windows where you notice that foggy look. The seals on this are covered for 20 years. So if you have an issue, it's going to be directly covered for 20. And then the parts and mechanisms and everything are going to be covered directly for a 10-year timeline. This is honestly the window that I want to sell you. I'm not going to probably talk to you about anything else, but pricing on that window is right on your screen in the basic colors, which is 18301.31. And I will be emailing this to you, but I just want to go ahead and get to the numbers, obviously, because I've kind of been talking a little bit. But I think that this product, as far as everything you told me, you know, talking with the wife, wanting to do other things as far as for the home, not break the bank on windows, but still get a good upgrade, I really think that this is the one. The other options that I do have, basically, as you look at the other options, you just kind of get different features as far as, you know, the double hung where the top portion pulls down, or you get triple pane, or you get a different color palette for windows. But I guess just kind of really quick and kind of get the floor to you. What's your thoughts on that overall pricing, just to kind of start? Is that maybe more within range that you were wanting to pay, I guess, in comparison to everything, or is that still a little outside of it?
It's just barely outside of it, but that's still way closer than what we were looking at. I mean, what we can propose. I mean, I've got a quote for $64,000, I got a 49, and I got a 38, and those are quite. I mean, Lowe's came in and said, you know, 31, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely more within our range. I don't know much about the windows. I don't know. You know, I've heard people say, hey, don't buy a window from this company, was it MI or whatever, MI, I don't know what the name of the company is.
Yeah.
Well,
I think this the kind of the sucky part in a way is you've had so many people tell you different things, and so now you like you said a while ago, you don't know what the truth is. But I think from being 10 years in the industry, what I have found is that a lot of windows have a lot of similarities. It's just a lot of them have maybe different names on them, different warranty packages, but that doesn't necessarily mean really anything about the window itself because it has, you know, a certain name on it or a better warranty than the other. I think that the biggest thing I guess I'm trying to say is with windows having a lot of similarities, I don't know if there's substantial differences in like this particular window versus like a Lowe's window, if that makes sense, or a Window World window, or a Wind Choice window, like you mentioned. There's probably, yes, some different features, but it's like, will those different features actually be worth your money? You know, like if you have a $32,000, $31,000 quote, is it worth the extra $11 to get more energy efficiency when your electric bill is not even that bad in general? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of that give and take part of things as far as that goes. And like I said, I could show you all the windows in the world and you know, explain it to you like, wow, this is a great product and why this is good and why it's better than X, Y, and Z. But like I said, I think it's just based on everything you're talking about as far as what your actual goals are, what your actual issues are. I just think that, like I said, this would be a good quality product. Again, a great warranty. They're also made in Dallas too, so if we ever have an issue, it's a kind of a quick turnaround as well for the windows as far as that goes, to get like a warranty claim filed or anything like that.
On the amount of argon that's in the window, I'm only asking this because someone told me yesterday about this. What is the argon percent fill that's in the window?
So this is 95%, 95% full, and that's because they're made in Dallas. A lot of other companies that are like, the windows are made like up north, they have to, I think, put in like a different level of percentage because of like the travel and like the elevation and stuff like that to make sure the seals don't pop, but this is 95%.
Okay. I was curious. And then on the low E, you said argon, is that a coating that's on the window or is that in the glass or how does it work?
Yeah, it's actually baked into the glass. So all the glass, and that's another thing too that is kind of a secret for window companies, but I like to tell the secrets, is all the glass typically comes from the same glass company. So like, it's called Cardinal Glass. You can go look it up, Cardinal Glass. Anyway, like Pella Glass and Elevate Glass, and we have another one, Atrium. It all comes from the same glass company. And so basically they all bake that low E kind of into the glass whenever it's made instead of like an aftermarket film type thing. Like this would never peel, you know, ever because it's inside that glass as far as that goes.
That's what I was wondering. That certain people told me that you gotta be careful because they'll just put it on the outside and it's not actually in the glass.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, I'm talking the same thing you're talking about, or maybe I wouldn't follow it. They're talking about, I don't know if it's the silver oxide or if it's the argon, this low E argon stuff that you're talking about. It said some of it's sprayed on and some of it's baked into the glass, and maybe that's what this is.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. I've honestly never seen, I've personally never seen any that's sprayed on in my career of doing this. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but they have to be some like, I don't know, overseas windows or something that's, you know, not from the US, I guess I should say, that would be something like that.
You're telling me something just out of the, because they want to tell me something just to make it sound good.
I mean, I'm not going to say that, but you said it, so that's probably the case. You know, they're trying to justify the $65,000 price, so I think that's probably what was happening.
Do y'all have any windows that would push me up in that range of $50,000-$60,000?
Yeah, so let me show you just like a full-on just price sheet of everything that we have. So whenever you initially started talking, so this is like what we have to offer. Can you see this okay?
Yeah.
All right, so like this over here is like a one window brochure. This is a window here that would be like black. This would be in a way kind of like the next thing I could talk to you about at $32,468. And then, so what that basically does is you get, like I said, the double hung feature. It's the same energy efficiency, but you get one other thing, which is a glass breakage warranty. That's kind of the upsell from that. This is more of like a sound performance window. This is a sound performance window. Basically, it's just two different levels of glass. It's a 28. This is the initial window that I was gonna potentially propose to you at the 41,737. It's a triple pane, but as soon as you said I don't have bad electric bills, I was like, okay, I'm not doing that one. Then this is the Pella vinyl at 38, and then basically getting to our Anderson and our fiber and our Pella, like the most premium thing I have, is at 60. Is at 60,000.
And why are those premium? What makes those better?
It's really the first letter in this red box, the name, Anderson, the logo, the yellow logo, Pella. But the other part of it that quote unquote makes them premium is the frames are a composite compared to vinyl. That's where the money comes into play, is the...
So durability and transition of heat cold, basically, or?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I would say so. That's a good analogy to say there. I think that it does also come down to, like, it mainly is the durability side. So with it being vinyl, or with it being so this is called the Anderson, it's called a FiberX. And what that is it's a wood and vinyl mixture. So basically Anderson, they make wood windows and vinyl windows. After all that's said and done, their leftover parts, basically they compact down into this FiberX material, which basically it's just a little bit better version of frames. It is going to be, yes, more durable. It's going to have a little bit more insulation in it as far as all of that aspect goes. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is. And then also with this, my first question was, is aesthetics important to you? It's important to a lot of people. And like we have the reason that these windows are sold is, if you can see on my screen, like we have a lot of windows here on the inside where they're black on the inside. That's like a super common thing that people are wanting nowadays, is black windows on the inside. And these two windows that I'm showing you are the only windows that can offer that, black on the interior. So that's why we would sell these windows most of the time, is because of that interior black aesthetic. But
yeah, the one that you showed me, that's the 18.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get that one in without the framing inside the window, or can you just get it solid at the same price?
Yeah. So it's the same price either way. So like this here, so like where you don't have the grids, yes sir, we can do that 100%. And just really quick, so you see on, I don't know how well this angle looks, but basically this one here is going to be the khaki color, and then the other one to this side is going to be the clay color, the taupe. So it's a little bit darker. I think if I was personally, I would probably maybe look at this color. It's kind of more of a grayish. I can send you some close-ups of it, but I think that would kind of look good with your brick, since you already have the darker windows now, kind of going back to a darker. Obviously that's going to be the wife's decision, but I'm just giving an opinion for you, since you do have free options like you see here next to the $18,000 price. So it's kind of more of a darker look. And then again, we have the white too. But yes sir, they can all be without the grids, so no lines in the glass space.
Is the one on the right the style that you were quoting me, or?
Yeah. So those were all just different windows like that we had to offer. I was just mainly showing you the color. The style, the exact window though is this one here. So let me, and I can get you some close-ups. And I actually did a YouTube video recently where I did a heat lamp test on the window. But this is it right here. Here, let me stop my share. All right, there we go. Does that help you there? That's like the interior.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. I was going to ask it. Both top and bottom of the double pane.
Yeah, for sure. And then you can see that spacer in there. And then this is what the outside looks like. So that's the external. And then obviously this does have the lines in it, but we'll take those out. You can kind of see that tint, can't you? The tint on the glass.
Yeah, I feel like anything I get is better than what I've got. But
yeah, I mean that's why, like I said, I didn't even want to talk to you about other stuff, because like you said, it's just everything that you have currently is kind of working. It's like, but will it last another 5 years that the son's in school? Like you said, your son's 14 now. He's trying to maybe go to college, and if he ends up staying there, then, you know, I don't know if the windows would continue to last with the silicone, but like you said, 100% more efficient than what you have, better version of, you know, operation, functionality, and all of that stuff. So definitely, like I said, better than what you got for sure. And then they'll also last probably way longer than your current windows too.
And what was the warranty on these again?
Yeah, so it's basically broken down into 3 components. The first is going to be the frames are a lifetime warranty, and then the seals are, which like your moisture, fogginess, or cloudiness is 20 years, so that's covered for 20. And then the parts and the balances and everything else that makes the window function is a 10-year warranty. And that's kind of under the same, the screens are under that same umbrella of the 10-year timeline as far as for parts go. So you, like if you have a screen issue, I can get a new screen for you and just ship it directly to you since they come standard with it.
And then on the glass break, that's the part that's not included in the warranty, is like for any reason it breaks, you would replace it.
Correct, yeah, that's basically the only thing that does not come with the window as far as warranty wise is the glass breakage. The tempered glass though, since we're doing that on a lot of the windows, it is a little bit more, I would say it's a little bit more durable from, you know, just foreign objects flying into the window. Not saying it won't break, but it takes a little bit more force, I guess is what I'm trying to say, for that to happen, and you'll have that on a lot of your windows. So that's, you know, on a lot of the bottoms anyway, which is where most of the black breakage typically comes from, you know, a rock going up, or a baseball by accident, or a soccer ball, or whatever. So yeah, but on that bottom side, like I said, it'll be a little bit more durable, but again, still it wouldn't be covered. Something like that though, like cost to repair, in some cases I can get it warranted with the manufacturer, but just like giving you a cost maybe $200-300 if that happens. But I always ask the question followed up to this is like, when have you ever had a window break? And it's like, well, I've had it broke one time in the 25 years I've been here, so it's like $300 over 25 years is that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've only got one broken window right now because I had my computer too close to the house. And all one broke, so I mean, I've not had any broken windows, so I don't know if it's worth me paying anything for a window. I mean,
Exactly.
I can pay $800 to get a window fixed.
Exactly, yeah, and then like I said, you can come directly to us and we can file the claim, get the same glass, get the same everything with the manufacturer to where it's even easier, to be honest. You don't have to like deal with some third party or whatever the case might be. I can still get it directly from the vendor as far as that goes. And that was another thing that so many people that buy windows, when I talk to them on a daily basis, I always like to tell them that, like, if you ever have an issue, you can come directly to us, and we are the ones that deal with the manufacturer. So like all these warranties that I'm talking to you about, we handle logistically for you, which is a really good thing. And the reason I say this is because like most big boxes and stuff like that, they'll just send you directly to the vendor. You know, like, to be 100% honest, I used to work at Lowe's. That's how I got into this company about 10 years, or got into this industry about 10 years ago. And whenever I was at Lowe's, I just learned so much about the industry and how it operates and which got me into it. I'm super grateful for that experience. But anyway, that's how it operates. Is like, you know, the guy that came out there and talked with you, like, he's a great person, I'm sure he is. But like, if there's ever an issue, it's going to be one of those deals where you have to deal with Pella, or you have to deal with whoever the manufacturer is, and you have to do it, not the person you bought the windows from, if that makes sense. And so it's one huge benefit that I always like to tell people, because even though warranty claims are my worst nightmare, I will tell you that, it's still something that I still do every single day, just because it's, you know, it helps out the customer, makes it easier on you guys, and all that stuff. So just kind of one thing to think about as well.
Right. Let me talk to her in a moment. I mean, we hadn't looked at any windows, so when I tell you this, well, I said tell you, you're probably freaking out. Well, maybe not. Our initial thinking was, you know, $10,000-15,000 for windows, but we haven't looked at any windows. And so until I started getting quotes, you know, I guess my expectation was quite a bit way in the ballpark. That's what, you know, windows cost today. So, and then we started seeing the cost of windows, like, oh wow, we're where we were kind of last night, is we're just already scrap it. This number here looks a lot better. I'll ask her, see if we still want to do it. This is more manageable for what we're wanting to do, and we're wanting a more basic window presented. And these other people didn't even have a window that would even get down in that ballpark. So
Yeah.
I know my thing is, okay, yeah, I know with a cheaper price, you're looking at a window that's maybe not as efficient, but how efficient am I wanting? You know, I feel like anything I get can be way better than what I have now.
Yeah.
And not paying $400, $500, $600 a month for electric bill and heating, it's manageable. So
Yeah.
I feel like even with just a basic window, I think it's gonna help.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, no, you're
but then the other thing is my wall or replacement. I mean, yeah, there are some that are messed up, there are some that are broke, there are some that are leaking and not sealed good. We've got water coming in in one place, you know, sometimes, so it's just not sealing good, but I don't have anything leaking. I'm not feeling dry, so I don't know if it's even to the point of us replacing them. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah. Well, it's definitely hard because, you know, there was a point where you guys got together and it was like, you know, all right, we really want to replace our windows. This is what it's going to look like. And we're going to, you know, windows and baths and all that. So y'all are like obviously super excited. And I say this because I'm speaking from experience. And, you know, you talk with the wife and it's like, okay, we're going to start calling window companies. You start calling these people out. And then, like you said in the beginning, like you get confused and it's like, oh, well, now this is way out of our budget. And then you kind of get discouraged a little bit, which I totally understand. But I do want to say that even though this pricing comes in low, I do want to just fully educate you that that doesn't necessarily mean it's a low quality product. It's not a basic product by any means. The reason that we come in low is because of this Zoom call that we're on right now, okay? Like, from being in the industry for 10 years, there's so many ways to cut costs, and this is like the biggest way of doing it because, you know, think about the Lowe's guy that went out. Well, you know, he's working obviously on a commission. He's working for Lowe's. They're paying him a salary to go out there and, you know, speak with you on the windows. And then on top of that, Lowe's has tremendous overhead just to even market that they install windows. You know, they don't run social media ads. They do commercials and all of that stuff. And then, you know, you look at WindChoice, for instance, it's the same thing. It's a huge big box. They run these big nationwide commercials trying to get these people pulled in. And then, you know, as soon as you click on their information, that you immediately have these random people calling you to set up a time. Well, all of that just costs money. And so that's where that price difference comes into play. I promise you, if WindChoice was to be like, okay, we're going 100% online, we're going to walk outside, take photos, and they're going to send them to us, and we're going to give them a quote, I promise you their numbers wouldn't be, you know, as far away from mine as they are. So I guess I'm just saying all that to say is, like, just because you're getting a lower price, I don't want you to feel like it's a lower quality window. Is there some differences? Probably, but again, it's like, how efficient do you want it? You know, what exactly do you want to spend on it? And overall, it just kind of comes down, like I said, to the numbers and how the numbers actually come in. And it just comes down to how our process is versus others is how we're able to get this pricing so low. And I just say that because, like, I just had this customer the other day. They were wanting the Andersen windows, and Andersen themselves came out to their home and quoted them like $90,000 for the windows, and then we came in at like 40. And it's like, well, why is there such a difference? Well, it's exactly what I said. It's the same exact window, but it's the process and the procedure of like how it's actually done. And so anyway, that's my spill. I just want to like educate you as much as possible because I don't want you to, you know, talk to the wife and be like, hey, we got an $18,000 quote, and immediately the trigger is like, well, why is it such a difference? And it's because it's a crappy window. And I guess I'm just trying to say it's not. It's really just our process is what makes our pricing so low, if that makes sense.
So do y'all contract out to someone else to do the installation, or do you have a group that does it yourself?
Yeah, so we have, so I guess to answer the question kind of transparently, yes, we do contract it out, but the group that we have been with us from the beginning. So like, we don't use like a random installer in every city. We have one installer in a major city that travels. So like, for instance, your guy that would do the install, he comes out of Houston for me. He does all my Houston installs. He's been with me for 2 years now, I think is what it is, and basically does it all over. He goes as far as Crockett for me. We were just in Montgomery, and then obviously he goes south as like Corpus Christi, and so he just services a big area. But what I've learned in just my time of doing this, like I was saying, like working at Lowe's and stuff like that, basically just trying to keep one installer happy and fed instead of trying to pick from a list of people. It just, you get a better end result each time. And so that's what I like, because there's just so many good people out there that actually know what they're doing and know how to install, and they know what they're doing. It's just they don't know how to promote themselves, as in, they don't know how to run social media ads and get leads and get customers to talk to them about Windows. They just know how to install. So it's like I take those people under my wing and feed them constantly, and then they scratch my back a lot, and then if I ever need it, or vice versa, I scratch their back a lot, and if I ever need it, then they scratch mine too, as far as getting out there to fix something or whatever the case might be. It's a great relationship that way, I guess is what I'm trying to say, instead of picking from a list of people, if that makes sense. So, well, I will email this to you. I know you got a 10 o'clocker. Basically, let's just talk really quick about next steps. So, essentially, I'm going to email this to you. You'll talk with the wife, and it's like, hey, we are actually wanting to buy the windows now. So then what will happen is we'll get back on another quick call, Zoom call. We'll just go over all the final details of what it is that you're going to be getting. We'll have a contract, a sales agreement signing at that time. And then if you're interested in financing, I don't know, we didn't even talk about that. Is financing something you're interested in? So we have like the 12-month 0%. I know you mentioned you have a lot of projects going. So I don't know, I just like to make sure I mention that. So you can do a 30% deposit and then finance out that remaining balance at 12 months.
A good question. I didn't really, I thought about it. We might do a 12 months on it. Where we mean is, it's at a number where we might just pay off the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it depends on how much disposable income we want to pay over right now. So.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, that's what it's for, use somebody else's money. There's no interest on it as long as you pay it off within that 12 months. It does have that 30% deposit, so I don't know what that'll come in at, but just 30% of that 18,301 number, and then the remaining 70% we could finance out for a full 12-month timeline. And basically, once we're on that Zoom call, we'll just figure out if y'all want to do that. We'll go ahead and get you approved with Wells Fargo, which is our vendor. And then other than that, that'll kind of be to the finish line. Once we're there, we then take the next step, which is sending my installer out to do final measurements. And then once we get those final measurements from that timeline, it's about a 3 to 4 week timeline. And then I would expect about a 2-day installation. Basically from here, we just got another call, finalize everything, get you approved for the financing if you want to use that. Send the installer out 4 weeks from there, then two-day install as far as that goes.
Okay. Alright. So we talk to her, what she wants to do, or what we want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because last time we were just sitting there like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We kind of, I'm just not happy with the numbers we're seeing. It's like, does it make sense to really put that much money into the house when we're not going to be here and what it's good for? So, and I already told you all that, but
yeah,
that's where I need to have a discussion with her. So.
Well, that sounds good. Well, I have a YouTube video that I'm going to send you that y'all can maybe watch. It's like 10, 12 minutes or something like that. But it's just on this window. It's our best-selling product, to be honest. And it's really our best-selling because a lot of people come into it with wanting to buy multiple, or wanting to do multiple projects like what you described. And it's like, I don't want to put all my, disposable income into one bucket. And so, anyway, I'll send you this YouTube video. That way y'all can watch it and you can see the window itself. She can see it, see if she actually likes it, see if it makes sense for you guys, just so she has something to look at. And then we can always jump on a call as well, again, to relook at the window if she does want to see it. But yeah, just shoot me a text, shoot me or Michael a text, and we'll definitely respond back if y'all have any questions or anything like that. But I'm sending this to your email now. And I do want to clarify really quick, because I think we were having issues with the Zoom. Is this email on screen right here, this one right here where my cursor is that correct? Does that look correct to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why it didn't come through.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm gonna send this now, so you'll have that. I guess just double check that you get it, because I don't want you to not get it. So if you don't see it like within the next 10, maybe just shoot me a text, but you should get it. I never have problems, but for whatever reason that Zoom was giving us an issue this morning. But anyway, man, you got 5 minutes to go, so get you some coffee or water, and I'll let you get ready for your next meeting. But I appreciate you jumping on here this morning with me.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. Thank you. Bye-bye. What'd you think of that one?